Okay guys, at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a sample order form. Be sure to check that out at the very end. Hope you enjoy. Hi guys, it's Charna with Goldsmith Luxury Hair. Today's video is going to go in on placing an order for a wig. For the sake of this video, we are not talking about toppers. We are not talking about sew-ins or closures or bundles. We are simply talking about how to correctly place an order for a wig. Whether you be online, whether it be on the phone, if you're not actually in a store where you can ask these questions, and ensuring that you actually are getting what you want and knowing the terms and things that you need to say to a supplier to make it very clear on how to order. So if you're unfamiliar with any of the things that I'm going to go over in this video, you can check out my YouTube channel, Goldsmith Luxury Hair, for a more in-depth look at terms that might include front lace, silk top, machine weft, hand tied, and things like that. And it'll actually give you examples if you don't know these things. The first thing you're going to want to do with a supplier, if it's not already made clear in a product that you're ordering, is you're going to want to figure out if your unit is hand tied or machine weft. A machine weft unit will also be called like a Jewish cap style sometimes by suppliers. And that's a really big deal because if you're maybe in cancer recovery or treatment, if you're looking to recover your hair for alopecia reasons, the type of cap that you're going to order is really going to be critical to how you're wearing it and how you want it to look. So that's number one. Number two is front lace versus no front lace. If you're unfamiliar with what front lace is, you can check out my other video, but this is something that you want clearly defined in your order form. Also, front lace sometimes can say 360 lace. That's a completely different thing other than front lace versus no front lace. So again, these are terms that you want to be familiar with. You want to know what you're ordering ahead of time, and you want to make sure that in your order form, it is in fact stated. Density is another really big thing. How heavy do you want your wigs to be? How thick? How much hair? I would say the average density of what I get in orders is between 140 and 180. I don't really get over a 200 density. That's a lot of hair. And again, depending if it's hand tied, depending if it's machine weft, that's going to weigh your wig down. So if you're a new wig wearer and you really aren't familiar with lots of these terms, ideally you would want to go into a store. But other than that, I would stick with things on the average in terms of density. Obviously, you want to talk about length. The unit you're buying, is it buying a pre-cut unit, which means that the supplier has already cut maybe bangs or layers or some sort of style, or is it a raw uncut unit? If it's an uncut unit, they might tell you that it's 24 inches. Realistically, if you go down to the bottom of the wig and there's like a little bit of extra, you might get 22 inches out of that. Again, these are things to ask your supplier when you are ordering a wig. And these are things that should be written up when you place the order, like your receipt form. They should say the length, the density, front lace, not front lace. Obviously, color. Are you getting a pre-colored unit? Are you going to do the coloring yourself? Can you do the coloring yourself? Sometimes people will sell you a wig and they're going to tell you, don't color it. I've already colored it. If that's the case, you want to find out what you're dealing with. If you are going to order a unit that is colored from the supplier already, meaning that they have already taken the time to highlight it, to biolage it, to root it, you're going to want to explain to them, if this is a custom order, what is your base color? What is your highlight color? How much, what percentage of highlights do you want? If you got a unit that's brown, like let's say natural number 2, and you want to put some 613 blonde highlights in it, how much blonde do you want in it? You're going to have to make this very clear when ordering the unit. Same thing goes for rooting. You know, if you're not a colorist and you don't want to spend the extra money and time of taking your wig to a salon for them to color, you're going to have to tell them, I want an inch of rooting and I want the color to be a 1A or 1B. And these are things that you really should get familiarized before you place an order. If you are a colorist and you want to do the color yourself, great. My recommendation is I would say order a unit with a good base color, and if it's from a trusted supplier and manufacturer that you know you can color and lift the hair, do so. It's really hit or miss depending on who you order from. Ordering wigs sight unseen from somebody that you are really not familiar with, especially I see a lot of girls today ordering from Chinese manufacturers, you have no idea what the quality of the hair is. My suggestion to you would be to go with a company that has good reviews, that maybe somebody you know has ordered, and speak to them. Is the hair processed? Can it be dyed? Can it be bleached? What you're dealing with. Besides the coloring, you want to know about hair texture. Are you ordering a straight unit? Are you ordering a body wave unit? Do you want a unit that's curly? Hair texture plays a big role when it comes into the hair where it's sourced from. Our company primarily deals with Russian European hair, so it is softer and it is not so dense and thick. We do on occasion make custom orders with Brazilian hair. We can get curly, we can get body wave, but keep in mind that Russian hair tends to be silkier, tends to be smoother, and it tends to be lighter. If you're looking for something with a major curl, you might want to go with Peruvian hair. Again, these are all things that you need to familiarize yourself with before placing the order, and to know what company that you're dealing with. And also too, one other thing is silk top versus non-silk top. Silk top refers to an artificial scalp. It's a layer that comes underneath. That instead of seeing the knots, like if it's not a silk top, you might hear the terminology bleached or unbleached knots. I would say always go with a silk top when possible. It makes the wig look more realistic, and then you don't have to worry, are the knots bleached? Are they not? Did it dip into the hair? And also freestyle parting. You want to be able to part your hair wherever you want, unless you don't. If you don't care about where you're parting your hair and you're just wearing a part down the middle, then freestyle parting is not going to apply to you. So all of these things that I kind of went over, if you order a wig from me, I usually send you an order form, and it's going to ask you all of these questions. You're going to circle this, that, yes, no, this is what I want. You're going to fill it out. We have color samples and color charts, and I think my baby's crying. But these are all things to look for. If you're unfamiliar with any of the terms that I said in this video, before you order a unit, not just from me, but from anybody, you definitely want to familiarize yourself with what these options are. And when the supplier is going to send you an invoice, you need to make sure for the protection as a buyer to have all of these terms written down. If you are ordering a wig and you want it to say front lace, it should say front lace in the order. It shouldn't not say that and not include it in the invoice, and that is going to protect you from basically getting duped. So to just summarize the video that I just made, I would like to go over a sample order with you of maybe a wig that I would wear and what it should sound like and what it should look like. Again, it really is important as a buyer, even if you're talking to the supplier and you're like front lace, silk top, and there's a lot of questions going back and forth about cap style, cap construction. At the end of the day, you need to make sure that it is clearly listed in your order for what you want. Because if they mail you something and you're like, this is not what I wanted, you know, it's really hard if you're dealing with a overseas company to get your money back, to ship back. It almost becomes not worth it, which I'm gonna kind of reiterate that not just because I'm a shazel maker and not because obviously I'm in this business, but you know, dealing overseas, there's a lot of communication breakdowns. So a sample order for a piece that I would wear in particular, just from personal preference, is I'm going to wear a hand-tied unit with a cap size. Cap size is something I didn't go over in the last portion of my video. Every company is different with cap sizes. You need to understand that. Medium in one company could be a small in another, a small in another could be a large. And the way that you're going to figure out what your cap size is, I'm going to make another video about this, measuring your head. The most basic form of a measurement is the circumference of your head. I happen to be, I believe, 23 inches, and you want to know what yours is. There are videos. I will make a video on a more detailed explanation of how to measure your head, but if you have your exact measurements, the circumference of your head, you can say to the supplier, I am a 23-inch circumference. This is what I want. And then there should be really no room for error on their part, and they can tell you our cap sizes run small, our cap sizes run big. So back to a sample order. If I were a sample order for me would be a hand-tied unit, a size medium. I would be 26 inches long. I would want only front lace. I'm going to order Russian hair. I'm going to want 613 blonde with a 50% highlight of platinum and a 1.5 rooting of a color 2. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments. I am going to put up some other videos explaining more detailed terminology so that if you are placing an order, you can go in and have a better idea of what you're ordering. I would really, before you place an order, don't ask the supplier. Just educate yourself, and then you can go in getting your money's worth when you do place an order online.